All right, welcome to class. We just started discussing differentiation involving the third method, which is chain rule. Please, if this is the first time of coming across this channel or this page, please kindly do well to hit the plus button or subscribe for more. See you in the solution path. So let's go ahead. The first thing I'm going to do here, please always note this. If you must understand how to solve chain rule effectively, you cannot do away without knowing how to solve indices. There are rules in indices that are applicable here. So let's provide solution to that. First off, note that we cannot use y and u here until we remove this root. This root is why we must apply indices to be able to solve this. So what do? We know that first thing is first. I'm going to have that my y. I will take this one out. So this is 2 over 3 here times 1 here, guys. Reason is because if you don't do that, you'll not be able to change this one into this divide into minus. So the next thing I'm going to have here is this. So I'll have that. All of this one becomes 4 into the root. Remember, I told you that we want to remove this root. So this is what I'm having next. So how do we remove this root since we have 1 here? Please, since we have 1 over a like this, a is all of this one, is representing all of this one. So what do we do now? I want to change this divide to minus. That becomes a, take the down one, raised to the power of this one here, this one. So I've changed my divide now into minus. So if you are changing your divide to minus, it becomes a power. So here, the same thing I'm going to do here. I will now have that my y becomes 2 over 3 here times. So I take remember I took the down, which is a first. So I'm taking this one first. I will remove this root here first. I'll have that 3x raised to the power of 6 minus 3x here. All of this one will give us 4. Remember that if you have root like this, 4 here, it's the same thing as 1 over 4 as power. Yes, it becomes power of 1 over 4. If you have it as this, it becomes 1 over 5 as power. So here, remember, we have 1 here. So we want to use this root. That becomes minus 1 all over 4. So this is what I'm having there. Minus 1 all over 4. So what's the next thing we note now? From here now, we can now start applying or allotting value. So everything in the bracket becomes u. So u becomes 3x raised to the power of 6 and 3 here. That's the first thing we note. And to get my y, we already said everything here is u. So to get my y now, we write 2 over 3 outside. Then I will have my u. I will not write this one again. I will write u because we say let u be this one. Then raised to the power of minus 1 over 4. This is what I'm having here. Is it? Now what's the next thing you have to note going further here is that you cannot apply chain rule formula or method if you don't differentiate this. So going further, we have to differentiate. So in differentiation, I'm putting this arrow to indicate that I want to differentiate. You don't need to put the arrow if you don't want to. I'm just showing you that I'm differentiating. That's why here I want to differentiate it here. So now I will now have that du over dx. That's all. This x and this is u. So this is how you do it. Now I want to differentiate this. I said take this 6 to multiply 3x. Write back the 6 and remove 1 from it. Like this. I have 3x raised to the power of 6. Use the 6 to multiply these two values now, which is 6 times 3x. Repeat the 6 and remove 1 from it. That will give us 18x raised to the power of 5. That's all. Here. So the first one for this case now, I'm having 18x raised to the power of 5. Next up, minus. Please, this is my minus sign. Differentiate this one now. Already told you that when you're differentiating this, you just pick 3. That's all. Because here is 1. 1 times this 2 value will give us 3x here. 1 minus 1. Repeat this one and remove 1 from it. This will give us 3x raised to the power of 0. This 0 is on top of the 3. The 0 here is on top of this 3. It's on top of the 0, please. It's on top of the x, please. The 0 is on top of this x, not the 3, please. So, because it's so, here will become 1. So, times this 3. So 3 times this one will give us 3. If the 0 was on top of this 3, like this, x, it means that this one will give us 1 times x. 1 times x now will give us x or 1x, as the case will be. So in this case now, my value here is 3. I'll put just 3 here. So please, anytime you are differentiating the power of x having 1, anytime you are differentiating the power of x having 1, just take the number. If I differentiate in the power of x having 1, take the number. When I have 6x here, if I differentiate this, I'm having 6. 12x here, if I differentiate this, I'm having 12. 100x, if I differentiate this, I'm having 100. So just take the number back. So this is what I'm having here. Next up now, I want to differentiate this one. So I'll take y first, add d to it, take u, add d to u. So that becomes, I will use all of this one now to differentiate this, to multiply, like -1/4 times, write all these values out, this value, write it out. So that will give us 2/3 here, then u raised to the power of -1/4 here. I said as soon as you repeat the power now, you remove 1 from it. So since this is fraction, make this one a fraction too. So what do we do now? Here is 1, here it can divide. This cannot divide this. So -1 times 1 times all this value now will give us u. This one, I'll find my LCM here. My LCM is 4. 4 in 4 is 1 times this one will give us -1. 1 in 4 is 4 times this one will give us -4. So from this point, observe that we have 2 and 3 under here. So here is 6, Abi. So now the final thing we'll do that is that u/6 now. This one will give us minus, this minus will give us -5/4. So this is it here. So I will write u to give us -5/4 all over 6. So this is what I'm having here. This is what I'm having. So this is it. Now, after we have gotten our du dx, dy du, sorry, we can therefore apply. So we say applying what? Applying chain rule. Chain rule. So where we say chain rule here is dy over dx. This is what we're actually looking for. And then we now have dy over du times du all over dx. So this is what I'm having. Now, what do we know? We are looking for this. So bring this one down over this value. So what next? Anywhere I see dy du, I will remove it and put its value there. So dy du, now remove that dy du from here and put its value. Its value there is u raised to the power of 5/4, all 6, please. Then times, what do we know for du dx? Du dx there, we know that it's 18x raised to the power of 5 and 3. This is what we know. From that point, I can take this one off. Take this one off. So from that point now, what do we know if you take it off? We know that from this point, something is common. 3 is common. So I can take it out. I can say now my dy over dx here now. I'll bring 3 out first. So 3 divided by 18, I'll have 6x raised to the power of 5 minus 1. 3 divided by that 3, there is 1. So all raised to the power of u 5/4, then all of this one will give us over 6. That's what I'm having. So going further, the y over dx now. Now, I want to remove this one. I want to take it back to divide. I want to take this minus back to divide. It means that if I'm taking, look at this, if I'm taking like this back to divide, this one becomes 1 all over a. So remember that this one is the same thing with this. If you are taking it, if you are changing this one here, you get this. If you are changing this one, you get this. So I want to take this one like that. So here will now become 3 into bracket 6x raised to the power of 5, 1 here, times, I'll put that 1, there must be 1 here, all over this u will drop down. So we have 6u all raised to the power of 5/4. Don't forget that. The final step here is that we have 3 into bracket 6x raised to the power of 5 and 1 here. Then, because when you multiply 1 times all this one, we'll get this. All over, from the beginning, we know u. This is my u. We said u is all of this one here. So that will give us 3x raised to the power of 6 minus 3x here, raised to the power of 5 all over 4 as my value. This is how this is solved. Please, like I said, learn to understand indices, because indices and chain rule are intertwined. Learn to understand that, then that can be easily solved. Chain rule can be easily solved. Thank you. If this is the first time of coming across this channel or this page, please kindly do well to click the plus sign or follow for more. Tell this to your brothers and sisters, your neighbors, your children, your colleague around about this channel where we solve calculations. See you in the other class. Bye.